Impatience is also a weakness in the sense that I will hold people up to a standard and I might get disappointed when they don't meet those standards. So because I know that, okay, the impatience is a double-edged sword, when I'm working with individuals on my team, I know, okay, I need to watch out for my impatience so that I do not give people an experience that isn't pleasurable in their journey to learn. Because the thing that's also important in life is we always tell people that the message is more important than the messenger. But I also find that we are humans, the messenger is very important. You cannot walk through life telling yourself that you are a blunt or a brash person and people should just approach you like that. No, the messenger is important. You have to realize that who delivers the message makes it stick. So when there are those edges of your personality, yes, the world should accept me as I am. No, you're an adult. You should learn to approach the world. I want to say in this confrontational manner, in the sense that let's all understand that there are many ways to get something done. You can choose to be aggressive and abrasive about it, or you can choose to get people on board, whatever vision or mission it is that you are trying to achieve, right? And when you get people on board, sometimes they remain, compromising a little bit or accepting certain things, but it's important that you keep the goal in mind. Your goal is to spread your message, so you as the messenger is important, which is why man know thyself. Now hold yourself to high standards was one of the things I said earlier. You will find that when you interact with life, many things go wrong. You have a plan. However, it doesn't mean that the world is going to happen as you have planned it. Things always go wrong. But when you hold yourself to high standards, like that thing where they say when you shoot for the sky, etc. If you hold yourself to high standards, you know that regardless of what goes wrong, there is still a base level you are going to achieve at. But when you have really low standards, when life happens as life tends to happen, you are literally at the bottom at the end of the day. Hold yourself to high standards because it matters. You don't even realize who's watching. You have no idea. The thing you did that you thought was small and inconsequential, you have no idea how much impact that made in someone else's life. There are people that will pursue a path because you pursued it. Because randomly you said one thing one day, they will go down that road. Because they see your journey, they know that this thing is achievable. There are plenty of people that have been running before Toby Amusan, but just seeing the excellence of a female runner, people that have just casually been running now know that, okay, it's not just to be running at the house, but there's an actual path. I could go to the Olympics, I could go to the World Athletics Games, there is an actual path. Which is why holding up yourself to standards matters, because you are teaching people, you are showing them what the path is. And people cannot conceive things if they do not see a path.
Every human being is actually creative. It just depends on how you express yourself. One thing I know for a fact is that there's a golden thread that runs through most of the presentations I've heard since I came, and that is, you must know yourself, you must have confidence, and then you must display your passion, because that's how to know yourself, and then you must acquire knowledge to support this passion, because if you have passion without knowledge, it really can take you from A to B. And then you must also be dedicated to what you do, you must be consistent in what you do. If the speakers who spoke previously had not been consistent in what they were doing, they would have discovered other developments along the way. And now, you can see from being an entrepreneur, the commissioner has become, the lady has become a commissioner, and then she can use her entrepreneurial experiences to, help others to also discover a better path along this journey. So when it comes to creativity, the first thing about creativity is that it's a question of self-identity, a question of your confidence, a question of your knowledge. Now, we are Edo people. And for me, I spent over 20 years living in Lagos, practicing my art. And when the governor decided to, who, by the way, is an avid collector of my work, who had been a collector of my work for about 20 years, told me he was going to run for governorship. I said, okay, I'll come and support you to campaign. He said, Lagos boy, you are too lost in Lagos, you don't want to come. But look at, you guys should come because there's a lot happening and there's a lot not happening. So we came to campaign, and instead of going back, I was like, why not stay and do something? So I decided to open the studio, my first studio here, National Studios, in 2016, just after the elections. And why did I do this? We have about 3 higher institutions, tertiary institutions in Edo that offer art programs. And then some in Delta, and all these students come from all over the world to come to these schools. And once they're done, they head towards Lagos or Abuja. Once it becomes difficult, because being in the art sector, being the creative, is not easy. There's no safety net, there's no salary, so you have to be ready for the hustle. And so I know from my own experience, a lot of people come to Lagos, and once they can't meet the grind, they enter banking, they enter journalism, they enter other areas, and you can't blame them, they have to survive anyway. And so I was like, okay, why not put a hall here in Edo, where young artists, when they finish, can come, settle, create, and then you can go market your works anywhere, because you can create your works anywhere. You can create your works in Ihobe, or create it in, wherever. It's the marketing. The internet has given us the license to be able to market our works anywhere in the world. It just depends on what you do, And so I created the National Studios, and then realized that we need to expand, and then we did the Edo Global Art Foundation, which basically is to train creatives and to also expose the larger public to the arts and to creativity. Because if you know the rudiments of creativity, you become better in any occupation or path you choose. I mean, you see I'm sure on TV, some of the nurses in foreign hospitals. You see their clothing, you see it's different. There's innovation. They're always adding something. They're always trying to make it better. You look at their schools. So you can see that when you create an enabling environment, people tend to be more productive. And so it's important that everybody is exposed to creativity. In European and American schools, from the kindergarten all the way to secondary school, you are exposed to the color wheel, you are exposed to composition, you are exposed to things which are creating art history, because if you do not know where you are coming from, it is very difficult to know where you are going to. So culture, art, creativity, these are pedestals we need to stand upon. When I was growing up, we are at a point where anything we are doing today has been done before. The difference from what we heard from the commissioner, from what we heard from those who have spoken, is the creativity to package and create an image, a brand. It rests squarely on creativity. And so you don't have to be an artist to be creative. And so what I want to encourage all of you to do is to go back a bit. Know your history. Know your culture. Become well-rounded. And understand one thing. We're global citizens. We should learn not to limit ourselves by ethnicity, or limit ourselves by tribe, or even limit ourselves by nationality. Because we're operating in a global village. There's a war in Ukraine that's affecting us. And so the question is, this knowledge, which has been given to us, now we're going back to, just think about it. Our ancestors were breastfeeding. And then they came and said, no, come and get, yes, and then we left all the breastfeeding. And then we started drinking all this milk. Look at me. I drank cow and But when I see my children and still now they enjoy like this. And then after a while, they come back and say, hey, no. Formula milk is not exactly good. You have to do exclusive breastfeeding. Hey, that's what we've been doing for about 3,000 years. Oh, yeah. But the difference is in the mentality. So because they colonized us, they implanted in our brains that they're superior. And then we were born inferior, and they were coming from a background of nothingness. They told us, oh, high cholesterol, oh, very bad, palm oil, don't take it, give it to us. We're going to process it and make it nicer for you. And the reason is simple. At the turn of the 19th century, it's called a steam engine. So a lot of people paddling and using sails, they were using engines to power ships and power everything. So they needed lubricants. And then we were chopping the thing, chopping everywhere, leaking out. Guys, we eat our products. We need this product. So propaganda. It's bad for you, high cholesterol. But today, they are telling us that oil palm actually cleanses your arteries. And you should eat it in abundance. What our ancestors do, they were all looking there. What you see there? All their skin shining. Yeah. I'm not the one saying it, I wasn't there. I'm telling you Portuguese accounts from the 14th century. They said there's no one that looked, everybody looked well fed. They did not need doors in their houses because there was no stealing. We were the first place to have street lights in the world. We had tall lamps powered by oil palm. And then in the upper palace, there was a 60-foot lamp that burnt night and day. Wow. Akopava, see how wide Akopava Road is? There's always been wide like that from the 12th century. The Pope came to visit to commission a church on that road. So that's why it was named Papa Va. Over the years, it has been corrupted from Papa Va, Papa Way, to Akopava. So, you have to understand that there's nothing that's happening today that we have not done before. Do not let anybody lie to you. Don't think creativity ends on one canvas or one piece of wood. Your life is creativity because you are a lot of creativity. So what you do with it is going to be very, very, very important. It's going to determine what kind of environment we live for our children, what kind of environment we live for their children's children, and what we will remember for. You have to think about it. But one thing you cannot take away is that if you have passion that is as deep as the sky, without hard work, zero. Without knowledge, zero. What's the difference between a boy whose father is a subsistence farmer and then somebody's father who owns a mechanized farming operation? The boy whose father is a subsistence farmer will swear that he doesn't want to be like his father and be in the hole, using the sun under his back. He would not want to do that. But if he goes to school and they're being taught at Greek, you will see that, oh, it's possible to mechanize. Oh, it's possible. You can turn whatever it is. That's the power of education. Education is very important. Because a lot of us, even in the arts field, we started by copying. Remember, everybody copying, everybody trying to copy the Igbo people, trying to be like the Igbo people. You can never. It's not possible because you're trying to catch up with something that you're not. So, if I'm there and I say, they can only admire it. They cannot judge it. But if I go and I'm doing Dirty Diana, the poor man's like that. Look at our fashion. Look at our fashion. They can only admire it. They can only admire it. So I want to encourage you. Discover your passion. Get the knowledge to upskill yourself. Get down to something. Start something. Let me tell you, the amount of money some people pay to Japa is more than 2 or 3 times the amount of money some of these young people here have invested in farmers. And here they are, looking good. So, before you Japa, upskill yourself, please.
Everything can be learned, and that's pure science. Neuroplasticity teaches us that what? we can learn everything. But now I want to talk about employability in a place where most people talk about entrepreneurship. You know, how many people want to be entrepreneurs here? Okay, this is a very honest crowd. I thought it would be everybody, because typically every young person wants to be an entrepreneur, and I'm thinking, who are we going to hire? Last week, one of the founders of one of Nigeria's only, perhaps Nigeria's only unicorn brand, came all the way from Lagos to see me in Benin trying to coach me for a job. It's not the first time that will happen, and in fact, since my first job working very closely with Bismarck Rewani, many people call him the Oracle, I used to report to Bismarck at 23 or 24 years old, I can't remember, but I was already going into those kind of high-powered meetings, right? And if you're familiar with Bismarck Rewani, you know that he only does quality stuff, true or true. And the question for me at 37 now, pioneer managing director of John Odigo Academy, the question I ask myself is, what have I done right? Because it appears that I've done quite a few things right. And what have I done right and what have I done differently is what I will share. But I want to focus on how you can get employed today. If you're looking for a job, because you find a lot of young people, I worked in Jobberman, I created that curriculum, and he talked about tech, which is true. We were upskilling 5 million people. For a lot of people, COVID was the worst thing to happen. For myself and my team, using the learning management technology and LMS, we scaled real fast during COVID. And my training was reaching people even in Kano. I went to a village in Kano and I could not believe, because I translated it to local languages, because I genuinely believe that literacy is not dependent on your ability to speak English language. It's so minute in thinking. In fact, sometimes when I'm most creative is when I speak Bini in my head. You know, when you say akubeoyeti, it's different from when you attempt to say it in English language. Nobody understands what you're trying to say. But when I say it, and then I absolutely understand. So back to how to become a person of value, because that's how you get employed. And this is how you must go for your interviews. I have a plan. I've looked at their business model. They had come to Nigeria and they were trying to survive. And I knew they were not surviving. They didn't understand the culture. They brought some templates. That's what happens from some business school somewhere in the world. And you bring it to Nigeria. How is that working out for you? It doesn't work for anybody, right? We're very different. We operate by different set of laws, don't we? In this country. Drive right, we drive the other, we do this, we do. So you must speak Nigerian if you want to survive in this market. So I went and I made a business case for 6 months. I told them what they were doing wrong, and I told them how they could break even in 6 months. However, I will share this with you. If number one, you're employing. Guess what? Every entrepreneur here will tell you that businesses exist to what? Optimize value. If you are a value-driven individual, you don't have to beg anybody to give you a job. But however, there's such a thing called the applicant tracking system, for those of you who need to write a CV. So when you look at my slides that we'll share with you later, I have 5 minutes left, so I'm going to wrap up. You will see the applicant tracking system, right? When you create your CV, some of us don't take looking for jobs seriously. It's a job on its own. You cannot have one CV for every possible job and then you just pray. There is some sort of religious sedation happening in this country. Spirituality has eaten off the brains. Mind-boggling, really. I say, God will help me. In the name of, don't help me now. Like my sister, we're from connected together. Like that. No, I will not hire one Ubuntu person that doesn't. In fact, because you are from Ubuntu, you have a problem with me. Because you're not representing our ancestors well. Anyways, back to this. So make sure that you are looking at the key words in the advert. I'm managing director, I'm looking for maybe somebody at my front desk. You can't come and then you're applying for the job as a doctor. I don't know if you understand that just basically. Because it's bizarre what we saw at Jobberman. Really, really bizarre. A doctor applying even for, sometimes you're like, what kind of thinking? And the thing is, the way you send your CV to, especially multinationals, you're not interacting with a human being. You are interacting with a boss, with technology. Technology that is unbiased, they don't know you, there's no opportunity for you to beg. So please write your CVs well. And I left some examples in my slide. And then when you're going for the interview, and now I want to talk to women specifically, especially when you're negotiating your salary, I find that many qualified women cannot state what it is they want to earn. I love when a man comes for an interview, he knows exactly what he wants. In fact, you see a man that comes for a driver position, he can tell you I want to earn 150K, yes. 150, yes, 150, look at it. Let's say a woman, she's qualified, and she tell you, what do you think you want to pay? Those things are not sexy. Do you understand? You need to be assertive. If you're a person of value, and that's why you need to spend time upskilling yourself. There's such a thing called Google University. There's such a thing called YouTube University. I learned how to make scented candles online just by going on YouTube. Everything can be learned. You see where I'm coming from? So prepare for your interviews. Be a person of value. It's so important. And then I'm just going to say this finally on value. My slides today was not prepared by myself. It's Ruth who prepared my slide. You know what happened? I was very busy. I'm building a brand from scratch. I'm building a public service academy from scratch. So it means that I barely even have sleep time in terms of the direction. And there are few people who can conceive where I want to go with that academy, right? She called me yesterday and said, you have a presentation today. I didn't remember that I had a presentation today. I'm like, oh no, it's today. And she said, I'm like, what? I thought it was in the name. And she said, have you done your slides? I said, no. And she said, okay, I can take that off you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hire Ruth. Thank you. I think things like this, they're very important for you too. If you see the speakers and the thing where they talk, I just they think to myself, say, when I did this age, if I forget this kind of opportunity, maybe now, I don't know, maybe I for true they fly or they do one big thing today. So I think young people get a lot to benefit from them. Like they talk for Igbo. Knowledge na power. Now who know road na they go far. So it is important say this kind of information they come, people they learn them so that we feel grow and in line with the governor ambition, make the Edo of our dreams we go sweet everybody. I think government get a lot of work to do. Even me as person where they run training organization, I dey see say a lot of opportunities there for us to train young people for Edo State. So we need to make sure say this kind of events they happen regularly where our young people go dey hear wetin government they do, and then we also go dey hear wetin young people they do for Edo State, because at the end of the day Governor Obaseki dream na to make Edo State great again, and we go do am through knowledge and applied knowledge.
This thing what we do today came with some very serious experts where they share their knowledge with the youths. So youths go carry away best practices that they fit execute in their own personal lives. The kind of thing where they go learn from this thing is something where they go carry forward to grow their businesses, maybe start their businesses, and even the fit meet people today we go be mentors for them to help them get to the next level. So make I give serious props to Honorable Christopher Naikare, because this thing what he do today now first of its kind anywhere, and the plan be say we go to do them every year. Make we they grow these things so our youth go they engaged, then go get mentors, they go get advisors, we go fit direct them along the correct path. We don't want the Yahoo again. Now to direct our youths to be agricultural, entrepreneur, they go be creative content makers, and they go make legit money. Once youths get legit money, all the pressure to go into criminality could just vanish.
For this program, now one program where really makes sense, where they bring young people together, where young people get to listen to different speakers, and they come put them for breakers. We're gonna get breakout session. Me, I deal under employability. Things where they need to get, things where youth need to get from interpersonal skills, to leadership, to emotional intelligence, to things where they need to know how to. For me, I dey very very happy. My belle sweet me well well. The ministry for youth and humanitarian, I give them gbosa because these are the first time when they gather young people to hear, to listen to them, to even know wetin they really want. You know, wetin we dey see before, they say youth lazy, but Edo youth don show say they no lazy, they dey very aspirational, they get plenty things for head, but they just need guidance and direction. So I appeal for the ministry wey put this event together in ten tional, no be anyhow event. They come abudu come organize the event, calm them for some days, teach them so many things. So I really really happy for them, and we're looking forward to the next stage wey be mentee and mentorship relationship. They say some people don sign up say they want me I mentor them, so by God's grace we dey available to provide that leadership and mentorship for them. So well done and well done.
The importance na say people go learn how to do things when they want to, right? The world don dey progress, don dey go. You know, they read about other African countries, how they don't they advance, they leave Nigeria behind, right? And part of the reason is because we need to be teaching people new things. You understand? People need to learn. If the curriculum when we take they train our children for school now and a curriculum from 20 years ago, meanwhile the world don't move on to new things. The technology from 20 years ago, not be the technology one we use now. 20 years ago, the phone when they use now to Raya, you pay 1,500 per minute. Now everybody get phone, you know. But the technology when they teach us for school now, 20 years ago technology, it won't work. You understand? So the importance, I say, these young people, they learn how to take advance themselves, how to become leaders, how to make a better life for themselves, how to promote their people from poverty, you know. Now all these skills when they learn will help them to become better members of society, you know, to contribute to the development of Edo State and to the development of Nigeria. Government suppose enable the environment, right? Like when I gave my speech earlier, I talked about how for Kenya, they don't introduce coding as basic course for primary school students. So everybody from primary school now, they learn how to use computer, they learn how to program, right? 10, 20 years from now they will see that results, and our government start them. So the work of government here is now to introduce similar programs. You understand? Introduce similar programs, make our children start to learn things of the future. When people they play ball, they know they go where the ball don't dey. They go where the ball they go. Now so person they take score goal. You understand what I mean? So for us to win, government need to be like midfielder. When they connect ball, send people go where the ball go. So need to enable people to learn things when will help them in future, not things when will help them now. Because all these people now then will be the future. So government needs to create enabling environment. Government needs to get people when they think, when they reason, when be experts, so that they will advise them, tell them, say, this thing when I want to achieve, now so now I say achieve them. Now so now I say do and well.
First of all, they learn many things about how they fit take start business, how they fit to get knowledge, to sabi wetin they want to do. And they will first know what they want to do. When they don't identify them, what they will do to train themselves so that they will strong, come be expert for that thing. And how they will also, government will help them to make connections where they will take fit. If na cloth that they do make, or if na shoe that they make, or if na film that they shoot, or that they film, or if na they photographer, how they will take carry this thing, go meet people where need them. Not only for Edo, but for Nigeria, for Africa, and for the whole world. So this kind of thing, very good. And then, not be say they just talk am, people wey just talk am theory. Now people wey don't do am, wey they do am, when this na their work, this na wetin they do in different parts, wey don't successful, wey don't sell their things, anything wey they produce for all over Nigeria, all over Africa, all over the world. Now those kind of people now they invite come this Abudu. I mean they come talk to these young people to find out wetin they want, to ask questions, to interact with people where they do this thing. So that if you be filmmaker, if you be a farmer, if you're interested in agriculture, if you're interested in fashion, if you're interested in shoemaking, if you want to shoot Nollywood film, anything where you want to do, they bring people will be experts, Nigerians, will be experts, we grow up for years, where they do this thing now all over the whole world. They bring them, come in, they come talk to them, share their own experiences with them, tell them how to take, follow the waka. So I think it's a very, very good thing. And then we ourselves too, we come as resource person. As they listen to these young people, we also they learn from them. See, many of them, very hardworking. As they day school, as they on strike, they don't begin hustle. And they work with sense. So these kind of people, you have to just respect them. You have to give them kudos. And kudos to the ministry and to the commissioner, Mr. Chris Nekari, for putting this kind of thing together. To arrange this kind of thing where young people, they will train them, expose them to people where they do practical, where in their life. So that not be one way say they write for paper or write for newspaper. This one, look me, I look you. So we have to commend the ministry for this youth development and led by the commissioner, Mr. Chris Nekari, and the PS, Mrs. Ifeko Alufo. Very, very good job.
It is sweet, my belly. My belly is do meeting. I'm very excited. The 3 days where we carry our youth come for this place, because we carry them come here so that they not go they distracted. So they go stay here from morning till night. They go they think for their head. Then the people will come they talk Tori to them, and the Tori where they talk to them, the people, the youth, they like and well. And you see how they sweet their belly. As they talk, it just they show say they're happy well. So they come here, and we carry people where sabi talk Tori concerning the different things where they do, and our body sweet well, because we see say this our youth. It don't take since when they itch for this kind of their body they do and say they need training, they need people to talk to, they need mentors. When we can't do what they call breakout session, when they talk with the people what they call role model, they don't want make the session end, because they say now that reason that they come for this camp, and our body sweet well, because we see say waiting we do today is good, and we want to say waiting we don't do today and waiting we don't achieve through this program, even next year we're going to see the effects, we're going to see the impact, as people will call them, and we're going to continue to talk to them. We don't call and say from time to time we go carry mentor, they talk to them, they teach them more things, and they themselves they will go outside, they teach other people, so that very soon our Edo youth, the kind name when they will get for outside will be better name. We don't go get bad name again.
First and foremost, we get governor we understand. We get governor where say Edo youth will be the future of Edo State. We also get governor where say for this state to go where in mind day to make camp great again. Now Edo youth na their hands today. So it can encourage us well. Make we do this program. We start what we call like pilot program. Make we see how it will be. Where we make mistake, we don't see them. So when we do the next one, those mistakes that we make again, and the number go almost 10 times this one. And it's a beautiful thing that this is happening for the first time. You can see the response, you can see the reaction of the youth, you can see what they've gained and what they've experienced in these last few days. And I hope that we'll from this build entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, build business people, build great minds, great children, great citizens of Edo State. We have a vibrant and energetic youth. And you have to keep them engaged, you have to challenge them, because they always challenge government. As we challenge them, they challenge us back. You see, what they don't do today, what we don't see they produce these last few days, we get to kind of go to the next level. And so the ministry job is to provide policies to make sure say our youth are properly taken care of and catered for. And those sort of things, now we try to make sure say happen for us, for Edo State, because we all of us believe say the future of this state, the economy of this state, the growth of this state, and for the hands of the youth today. Because their population, if they unleash that population on industry, on business, our state will be like Los Angeles. And that's what we want to make them be.
We sit down here for Abudu, where be the administrative headquarters of Onyawan local government, for the day 3 of the Edo Youth Colloquium. You will know say this Edo Youth Colloquium are part of the activities when Edo State government through the Ministry of Youth and Humanitarian Affairs do to celebrate International Youth Day when be August 12. And yes, this Edo Youth Colloquium don't give them opportunity to take mind with the youth, because they bring a bonga resource persons when we talk about other important things to them. And these are 3, they talk about art and culture, they talk about technology, they talk about agriculture, and they call this special breakout session for them to get time to talk with the mentors when they fit mind for matter when they affect youth. This is TMC TV. And say we know they bring a story from the 18th to the 21st for matter when concern this Edo Youth Colloquium. My name is Omo Aluki Ajakaye, and this na TMC TV.